This video will help you find a scholarly journal article and correctly identify a scholarly journal article. So the easiest way to find a scholarly journal article is to use your library resources. So right here on the Canvas homepage, if you click there on library resources, it'll open up the library page right inside Canvas. I'm going to switch to that in another window so it kind of fills the screen better. And I'm going to search for a topic. So you'll want to search for a topic that's related to your field. So if you were, say, doing early childhood education, you might want to learn about kindergarten homework. So let's put that in there. Okay, so here's what we've got here for our results. And I do want to draw your attention to this little box here where it says chat with us. If you are having trouble with your search and that little green light is on, you can type right in there to talk to someone at the library right away about your search. They're online right now. If I were to type in there, they would be talking to me right now. So looking at my search results, I can see these icons here tell me what kind of source EBSCOhost has marked it as. EBSCOhost does a good job of this, but don't rely on EBSCOhost totally. You need to be able to tell for yourself, right? So periodical is anything that's published periodically, once a month, once a week, twice a year. So magazines, newspapers, and scholarly journals are all published periodically. Usually if it's marked as a periodical, it's not a scholarly article. But one thing that we can do is we can click here on academic or peer-reviewed journal. And so that's going to narrow my search to where it's only showing me the things that EBSCOhost has marked as academic or scholarly journals. This is marked as a report. That's usually acceptable as a scholarly source. The difference is that it's instead of being published, in a periodical, a scholarly journal article that publishes, 2 or 4 times a year, this is maybe put out by a government agency or another organization. They've put together some high quality research, but it's not technically in a journal. It's a different kind of source. So you'll want to look at the titles of the articles to see if anything's relevant to what you want. You can look at things like years to see if anything, is the right age for you. Maybe you're looking for more current sources. I'm going to click on this one, Investigating the Potential of the Flipped Classroom Model. And this takes me to EBSCOhost's detailed record page. And I can get a lot of information here about the source. So I see that it has several authors. That's a good thing, really, a good sign for a scholarly article, because that often means there were multiple people working on the research for the article, although one author is fine. Tells me the name of the source. Has a Y here. Yes, it's peer-reviewed. Has a long abstract, right? That's a summary of the article. A long abstract is usually a good sign. It says it has 46 references. So on their reference page, they actually have 46 sources. That's an excellent sign that it's a scholarly journal. You don't usually see that in other kinds of sources. And so really that's looking pretty good. I can click to see the article itself on PDF full text. And what I'm looking for here in the article itself is I'm looking for academic language. I'm looking for in-text citations, so I can see Bergman and Sams 2012 here. It doesn't have to be a parenthetical citation. That was in APA format. Chicago format, for example, uses numbered footnotes. That's fine too, but I do expect to see some kinds of citations within the article itself, not just at the end. I'm also looking at the section headings, right? So this one says procedure. This one here says research questions, participants, and context of study. Those questions tell me these authors have put together original research. They're presenting their own original research, so that's an excellent sign. So everything here is pointing towards this is a scholarly journal article. I don't really have any red flags, but I do want to show you one more thing that you could look at if you aren't sure. So I've copied and pasted the name of the source, the name of the journal itself. And I'm going to just search. I'm using Google here. Now I can click on these articles online about this source, and I'm going to scroll down here to the Wikipedia article, because Wikipedia usually lays it out for me. And it'll tell me in the article, Educational Technology and Society is a quarterly peer-reviewed academic journal. So I didn't have any red flags looking at the content of the article, and Wikipedia tells me that it's a scholarly journal article, so I am confident that this is an appropriate article to use for my paper as a scholarly or academic article. All right, thank you very much.